Some mechanics are just so fundamental to playing RuneScape that you don't even think of them as mechanics. They're just things you do. Like clicking on people, that's just a thing you do all the time. Literally most things you can do in this game require you to interact with someone at some point, whether it's to attack them, to trade them, or to just talk to them. So what if you took this absolutely fundamental part of the game away? How far could you actually get? What can you even do in a world where all of Gielinor is just a ghost town? I wanted to set out and find out just that when I made my new hardcore Ironman, InvisScape. At all times when I'm playing on this account, I will be using Runelite's Entity Hider and Minimap plugins to make sure that I can never see or initiate any sort of interaction with anyone. Of course, InvisScape isn't actually alone in the world. All the usual players and monsters are all still here with him. They're just invisible, which should make his ultimate goal of getting a fire cape just a little bit challenging. Especially if he doesn't want to die along the way. Alright, so here is InvisScape in Lumbridge, and he appears to be the only one here, nobody else to be found. Of course, we can tell from this floating text here that all the usual NPCs are actually here, but we just cannot see them. Also, I just realized that with the minimap hidden, I can't toggle my run energy using the orb, so I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, by going to the settings menu. I'm giving myself what seems like a really simple goal for episode 1. Get level 2 magic. It sounds simple, but it's going to highlight just how weirdly complicated doing some basic things is going to be on this account. Normally to do this, you just grab your free runes from the magic tutor, cast a few wind strikes on some goblins nearby, bada bing bada boom, you're level 2 magic. But for me, there are a couple of problems with that. Firstly, I can't actually see the magic tutor, so I can't actually claim any runes from her. And secondly, I can't actually click on any goblins to cast a spell on them. Now the first problem I can address with item spawns, somewhere around here in this forest, there we go, there is an air rune spawn. And here in the castle there is a mind rune spawn, so I have the necessary runes for Windstrike, but once again, no way of actually casting it on anyone. That's going to require me to get a magic weapon. And before I can do that, I need to prepare a few things for myself. Just gonna collect a bunch of these item spawns that might be useful, like leather boots for example. They offer the most marginal of defensive bonuses, but hey, you never know if that might be useful. Okay, so in order to get myself a magic weapon, I'm first going to get myself a ranged weapon, funnily enough, as well as some decent food. My plan for early game food, as is the case for many Ironmen, is cakes. You can steal these cakes from cake stalls fairly easily, but that does require level 5 thieving. Most people get there by pickpocketing men and women, but again, I can't actually do that because they're nowhere to be found. Fortunately, I do have one option to train thieving here in Lumbridge. It is slow, but it's all I can do for now, so let's do it. So this is it right here, the Ham Hideout Trapdoor, my only source of thieving experience. Definitely not very fast experience, but it's only 4 levels, how bad could it be? Okay, it may be super slow, but it's also super chill. I've only clicked this door once so far. You know, I'm leaning back in my chair. And my character has just been going at it all alone. So there you go, guys. If you're looking for an AFK thieving training method and you're okay with getting a whopping 400 XP per hour, you're welcome for showing you this new method. Oh, and you get 4 XP for a success. That's huge compared to what I've been getting from this so far. And that's the first level on the account, level 2 thieving. It's not fast, but it was definitely the most relaxed level 2 thieving I've ever gotten on this game. Following it up with level 3 thieving. Funny to think that someone could have been standing here this whole time observing me, wondering why on earth I'm picking open this trapdoor only to close it again once I succeed. And I would have no way of knowing. Level 4 thieving, only one more to go. I have been making the occasional trip down the hill to pick up the air rune spawn, break up the monotony a little bit, you know. Level 5 thieving from only picking the Ham Hideout Trapdoor, possibly the only person to have ever done that, because why on earth would you? I can now steal from a bunch of different stalls, the most important among them being cake stalls, of course. I want to go get an inventory of shrimp just to make sure I can make the trip across White Wolf Mountain to Ardoin without dying.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Okay, jump scared by a mugger just there, though I'm surprised he became visible when he aggroed me. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Okay, so there is a setting in the Entity Hider plugin that I forgot to check off to hide attackers, so that shouldn't happen again. Unfortunately, what I'm now realizing is that Mr. Andrew Gower coded the fishing spots as NPCs. You'll notice that none of the usual fishing spots are visible here on the shore, and if I briefly disable this, then they're suddenly visible. So I guess that means that I cannot actually train fishing on this account, which is not a restriction I was expecting to have when I was theory crafting it. This does throw a little bit of a curveball into my plans, but it shouldn't be too bad. There are going to be other ways of getting food still. Oh, it's crazy how much faster training thieving is once you have access to a proper training method. Who would have thought? So now with this full inventory of tea, which I believe heals the same amount as those shrimp would have, I should be able to safely make the trek across White Wolf Mountain. Alrighty, let's hope I don't get eaten by wolves. That was a lot easier than I was expecting. I only ever got hit 2s or 3s by the wolves, so no problem out healing that. And I made it to Catherby alive. I will be taking the safe route to Artie through Sears Village though, since I don't want to get mauled by a giant bat or a grizzly bear. I like to imagine that when InvisScape is using the bank, he just throws all his stuff over the counter and then politely yells if there happens to be any ghost bankers around, could they please put his stuff away for him, thank you. If I tuck myself in between these boxes behind the baker's stall, I should be safe from any market guards. Time to shove these delicious cakes right into my pockets while somehow preserving their perfectly round shape. Several inventories of baked goods acquired. Hey look man, I don't know who made them, they were just there behind the stall and they just kind of appeared and I thought I was free to help myself to them. And that means that decent food can be checked off the list, so the only other thing left on my grocery list is a ranged weapon. I decided to make bronze knives as my ranged weapon since I can't buy a bow from a shop. And to do that, I've come down to Port Khazard because there are these tin rocks here and these copper rocks over there, as well as a bank chest really close by, so probably the best way for me to bank smithing supplies right now in order to get those made. You know, I don't have to have these plugins enabled to know that this place is a ghost town. Just look at the horribly disgusting condition this building is in, all these smashed windows and this broken furniture. Ugh. Yeah, that's not so good for sitting on, I agree. So this should be the last of the ore for now. 5 inventories of both copper and tin will get me the smithing level I need to make bronze knives, as well as a bunch left over to actually make them with that level. Before I head back to Mistlin though, I want to see if I can get into the Gnome Stronghold and train up to level 10 agility there. I keep putting my mouse here to open up the map, but of course just like the run orb, it's hidden along with the minimap, so once again I'm doing things the old-fashioned way by having a JPEG of the world map opened in my browser. Fortunately, unlike in ye olden days, I have 2 monitors now. My only concern with getting into the Gnome Stronghold is that you have to help this gnome move some boxes before she'll let you in, but I'm fairly certain you can just trigger that dialogue by trying to open the gates. Yes, you can. Okay, perfect. So that triggers the dialogue. Yes, I can help you move these boxes. Perfect. So I can get into the Gnome Stronghold. Thank you for that, Mrs. Ghost Gnome. I don't know where you're actually standing right now, but thanks. The gnome trainers on this course are constantly yelling quote-unquote encouraging things, which makes this course really funny to train on, just a bunch of ghosts that I cannot see urging me onwards. And there's level 10 agility, which means I have access to the Draenor course now, so no more need to train under the watchful eye of the ghost gnomes. This workshop in Edgeville is so gross. Look at this, there's these like bronze shavings and iron shavings on the ground, piles of coal dust. Definitely numerous workplace health and safety violations right here. Who's ever responsible for this place better clean it up before I call an inspector. Level 7 smithing from smelting my bronze bars, which means I can now make bronze throwing knives, which will be my ranged weapon of choice for the time being. Some spooky skulled ghosts in the Edgeville Bank right now. I don't feel too safe with them around. I made 255 bronze knives, still have some bars left over to make more or something else if I decide to do so instead. But yeah, that's my ranged weapon done. I was looking through the wiki to see if there are any item spawns that might be useful to me, and there should be in one of these buildings here. There we go, this building right here on the table, a leather body. It has minuscule ranged attack bonus and minuscule mage defense bonus, but hey, I need both of those things right now, and I'll take them in any amount I can get them. So you may be wondering how exactly I'm going to train combat on this account, given that I can't actually click the attack option on any NPCs to attack them. Well, as you may know, certain NPCs are aggressive to you if you walk too close to them if your combat level is less than double their combat level. If you turn on your auto retaliate, you can fight back against these aggressive NPCs without ever having to click on them. And that's basically the whole strategy for training combat on InvisScape. Just walk into areas where I know there are aggressive NPCs and use auto retaliate to fight them once they attack me. I'm on my way to who are perhaps the most infamous aggressive NPCs in the game at one of my favorite spots in the game, the Dark Wizards by the Draenor Willow Trees. These dark mages are of course known to have killed many a noob in this spot trying to cut willow logs or fish shrimp. On behalf of all those noobs, including my past self, I'm going to get revenge on these Dark Wizards. I think it would be smart if I actually had some food with me. Let's go get that first. I'm getting a little bit murdered right here. Oh, and I can't click on him to attack him after eating my food. So that's also going to be annoying here because every time you eat, you stop attacking whoever you're fighting. And for me, that means I have to wait until they attack me again to trigger my auto retaliate before I can continue fighting them. That's definitely going to be a hit to my DPS compared to a regular account. I am already starting to doubt my decision to use bronze knives for this. I figured with their low defense these guys wouldn't be an issue, but I'm just burning through these knives without doing a whole lot of damage with them. Come on, one last hit for the first Dark Wizard kill. Okay, please be lucky. 2 coins, which I think are absolutely useless for me since I can't think of anywhere I could possibly spend these. The drop I'm hoping for here is a staff. Not even an elemental staff, just a plain old staff. A slightly magical stick as the game describes it, which is a fairly common 1 in 16 drop chance from these Dark Wizards. Level 2 ranged. I'm pretty sure that doubles my DPS now compared to level 1 range. That would make sense. The Project Rebalance update, where your minimum hit will go from its current 0 up to 1 on an attack with a successful accuracy roll, will be so huge at low combat levels. Honestly, that update cannot come soon enough because this is really frustrating. Okay, Dark Wizard number 2. Oh, a wizard hat. Honestly, not a bad drop since it gives some magic defense bonus, which I will happily take right now. Also doesn't hurt that it looks cool. So I just checked the wiki and apparently these guys have a max hit of 6, so I actually chanced myself several times during those first 2 fights. Oopsies. I'm gonna play it much safer now. Okay, time to address the red helmet down here. I fully expect to lose the hardcore status on this account at some point. Like, without a doubt, this account is going to die at some point, and I just thought it would be fun to see how far I could get with it intact. But, yeah, I'll definitely just keep the series going on this account until I get that fire cape. There's probably a bunch of people here cutting these willow trees wondering what the hell this goober is doing killing these dark mages in this gear. And I find that funny to think about. Level 3 ranged and level 4 combat. No longer a newbie level 3, I am now a Chad level 4. Oh, air runes, that's amazing. I don't have to waste time picking them up. It's a bit of a paradox maybe that I want to keep my combat level low, but the reason is that as I level up combat, certain NPCs will no longer be aggressive to me, which means I will permanently lose the ability to fight them when that happens. And if they have any drops that might be useful to me, well, I don't want to lock myself out of fighting them until I've gotten those drops. I don't know what it is, but psychologically, just not being able to see this NPC makes this fight so much scarier than it probably is. I guess also this is my first hardcore Ironman I've ever made, so there is a bit of not wanting to lose the hardcore status right away playing into that as well. Oh my god, there it is. Wow, the staff. Okay, I think that only took 4 KC to get. Alright, I already have some air runes, just a couple of mine runes, though I will need to go pick up some more. To you, this may look like an ordinary stick, but to me, it is a very special stick because it actually lets me train magic. This is so exciting. I've unlocked a whole new skill on this account. Alrighty, I've done a little bit of world hopping, picking up the singular mind rune spawn, and I am feeling so ready to get that level 2 magic. Alright, Mugger, come try and jump scare me again. I'm ready for you this time. I must look so goofy just wandering in circles here trying to get attacked by the Mugger. I guess maybe if I... Oh, okay, there he is. He's right here. Okay, yes. Auto retaliate. Get him with the wind strike. Boom! There it is. Level 2 magic. Probably the most convoluted way anyone has ever gotten level 2 magic in this game. I really hope I've been able to showcase today just how weird this account's going to be and how weird some of the activities I'll be doing on it are going to be. I'm really hoping the fight caves is possible. The theory crafting I've done so far says it should be, but I'm excited to dive more into this account and see what that road actually looks like. Thank you so much for watching episode 1 of the Adventures of InvisScape. If you want to keep up with the series, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you... Well, actually, I can't see you because of the Entity Hider plugin, but I hope you'll see me in the next episode.